we have to share responsibility. Otherwise it just doesn't work out because it's just crazy over here.
All right, great. Like I said, congratulations. How are you guys doing? What have the last 8 months been like for you guys?
I can't remember.
Right.
No, they've been good. It's been chaotic, obviously, with a 2-year-old and twins. Yeah. But I think we're getting our groove, and
we are, for sure.
Everything's a lot smoother now, which is good.
Good. Before we dive any further into it, I love your hair, Lauren. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I like it too.
Yeah, are you starting to get used to it, Ari?
Yeah, it was a transition. Sometimes the other day we went to a restaurant and I walked out of the bathroom and I looked for her for I don't know, 2 minutes. Yeah.
I'm like,
I was like, oh yeah, she's right over there.
I love it. Are you going to keep it?
I think I might. I don't know. Or maybe I'll try another color next time, but I've always had blonde hair. Mm-hmm. So it's a fun change.
It looks really good. It looks great. So What has been the most challenging part about having multiple newborns and a toddler?
Where do we start? How much time do you have?
I can't imagine.
I guess the hardest part is just getting no sleep, because if you have a toddler and one baby, you at least can expect to get a few hours at a time. But then when you have twins, they're somehow on opposite schedules all through the night, and you get maybe 2 hours cumulative in the beginning. But yeah, I think that would be the hardest part.
It's just a lot of crying happening,
From you or the babies?
Both. Us after they go to sleep, and then we cry.
Totally. Are they now sleeping through the night? Are they on the same schedules?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so nice. Now there's a more routine happening. We get to enjoy coffee in the morning together before they wake up, and
everyone's happier.
We have more time for each other as well, which is nice.
Definitely. I know the last time I think we spoke to us, you guys were sleeping separately because of the baby sleeping schedules. Are we back in the same room now?
Oh yes. That was a short period of time. That was a hard period of time, but it's awesome now. And now we can rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Good. What is something that you wish somebody told you before you had the twins?
Buckle up.
I guess that no one will really understand what you're going through unless they have a toddler and twins too.
I think a lot of people are like, oh yes, I have mine a year apart, and we're like, no, that's not the same. Yeah. Unless you have twins, I don't think you can really relate, because I think twins are just a whole different animal.
Right. Have you noticed that they're starting to have their own little twin language?
They're not really that interested in each other yet. They sometimes will try and talk to each other, but one won't be paying attention. But Senna and Alessi are best friends already. They're so cute. They're always playing, and Senna's always laughing at her. It's adorable.
That's good. Sorry, Ari, go ahead.
No, the babies are just very different. They have different personalities. Our daughter is a brunette with brown eyes. Our son has, bluish green eyes and blonde hair. Mm-hmm. And he's just sort of like a little bulldozer. He's just such a boy, And then our girl, she just smiles with her whole body. They just have two very different personalities. And it's really cute to see that's already taking shape at such a young age. Mm-hmm. I can already kind of envision the next couple of years,
Yeah. I mean, what kind of big milestones are they hitting? I know you said that they're sitting up already, but what kind of other milestones are they hitting? And do you notice that one's a little bit more ahead than the other, or if because I had a little boy around the same time you guys had the twins, and the boy's crawling so much earlier than my little girl was at this time. So it's interesting to see the differences between the two.
Yeah. I mean, they just started sitting up, and Senna has figured out how to use a walker. Lux has not. He just sits there and screams still. But I think they're kind of neck and neck. Sometimes Lux will do something before Senna, and then Senna will do something before Lux. So it's just always a competition. They're very close.
In their first few months of life, Lux was definitely the one that would hit the milestones quicker. Mm-hmm. And now it seemed like it's flipped. So who knows?
Right. They'll all catch up eventually. How did Alessi do with the adjustment to being a big sister? And, what was the hardest part for her? And how did you make it easier?
Just dividing attention, really. Yeah. She was our whole world, and then the babies came along. So there's a little adjustment. She would act out in the beginning, but she's done really well. She really is a really good big sister already. She's very nurturing and sweet. And we just make sure to take some time for her as well. Undivided attention for her. And that helps. But yeah, it was a little transition in the beginning, but it was less hard than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. How is she doing sharing her toys? Because every time my little guy grabs a toy that she wants to play with, she grabs it. And I'm like, well, you got to give him something else. And she'll like give him a sock to play with. So I'm like, that's not really nice.
We're doing the same thing right now, trying to teach her how to share. Some days are better than others. But yeah, we do the same thing. We're like, okay, if you want your toy back, you got to trade him with something else. So.
And she also does this thing where she acts like a baby. That's like a whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
She wants to be a baby too.
Yeah.
So then she'll just
eats their food, sits in a high chair, throws food on the ground now again. We're just like, oh my gosh.
Grabs passies.
You're a big girl.
Right. Well, you guys potty trained her though. That's impressive. I'm still not there yet. How did that go?
She potty trained herself.
Yeah. She literally one day was like, I want to go on the potty, and then never has looked back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's great
for us. Yeah.
Yeah. We got really lucky.
Good. What would you say has been your biggest mom-dad fail when it comes to the twins?
There's so many. I'm just kidding. Mom-dad fail. I mean, I used to get peed on a lot by Lux. I guess that's kind of a fail.
Yeah, learning how to be a boy dad was a little hard in the beginning.
I still do sometimes if I'm not paying attention.
I don't even know. You know, every day we learn something new and like a way to make things easier. But in the beginning, you know, you just kind of like have these little tricks when it comes to twins, like changing one and keeping one busy and, you know, vice versa. We're just trying to kind of navigate that. But I don't know if there's any big fails.
I don't know.
We haven't left the house without a diaper bag or anything like that. So
yeah, not yet, but maybe soon.
Right.
Stand by.
Lauren, how is postpartum different for you this time around? And what surprised you the most?
Well, I mean, I did have some struggles with postpartum depression this time around. I think my hormones were just like so out of whack after having the twins. They were like up here and then came crashing down really quickly. So it was hard for me to like handle things that normally would be easy for me to handle. But other than that, I mean, like sleep problems. And I think that just comes from not sleeping for so many nights in a row, like almost 7 months. I don't think I got a full night of sleep. And then trying to readjust back to that. That's been really hard.
Sure.
But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it, I guess, right?
I mean, she's worked hard. You worked hard on getting your body back. And that's something that has been different because you had a C-section this time.
Yeah, having a C-section is very different than having a vaginal birth. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just the emotional stuff was like a lot more intense this time around.
Do you feel like you're finally starting to feel like yourself a little bit again?
Yeah, I'm in a much better place now.
Yeah, no, totally. And then I know you were in the hospital too. You had a really bad infection as well. And that, I'm sure that kind of totally threw you for a loop.
Yeah. I was trying to breastfeed both of the twins for a while and then got a really bad case of antibiotic resistant mastitis, ended up in the hospital, ended up having to stop breastfeeding after that. And yeah, definitely didn't make matters any easier.
No, definitely. Was that hard for you? Because obviously everybody goes in with a birthing plan, a breastfeeding plan and things like that. Was that difficult for you to kind of adjust to be like, all right, this is not what I envisioned. So now I have to kind of change things. And, you know, was that hard for you?
Yeah, I mean, I still have guilt about it occasionally. Like if Lux gets sick, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had just been breastfeeding him longer, maybe he wouldn't be sick. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, no, like this is going to be the best thing for our whole family because it's hard for me to give attention to Alessi even when I'm breastfeeding 2 babies and pumping in between. I had like no time to do anything, even like hang out with her. So I just felt like for the emotional well-being of our whole family, it would be better if I didn't do it anyway. So the mastitis kind of just nipped it for me, ended that whole journey, and I was okay with it at that point.
No, definitely. I give you credit for even trying to breastfeed 2 babies and have a toddler. That's a lot of work. I can't imagine. And Arie, how would you say that like having multiples and a toddler, how does that kind of change your marriage in the beginning?
I think that, you know, you just have to be on board with, I had to help as much as I could, you know, and I think with having the twins, I felt like I was way more useful, I guess. With Alessi, you know, it was funny because like I wanted to help as much as I could, but breastfeeding, I couldn't really do much other than change her. And then we would, read her books together. But now that there's 3 and there's the twins, like it's like all hands on deck. So it's been great because I've been way more involved in pretty much everything because I have to be, and it makes it, I don't know, it's almost more bonding, to be honest, because we have to share responsibility. Otherwise, it just doesn't work out because it's just crazy over here.
It's getting better though.
Right. You said it's getting better. So you guys are able to spend a little bit more time with each other then, right? A little bit more date nights.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Everything's like, I think the first 6 months of any new parents and now twin parents, it's like really difficult, but now we're getting into more routine. The babies are sleeping. Like we wake up in the morning, we have coffee together, we have date nights. It feels way more normal now. We're like in a groove. It feels really good. I feel like we have it under control for now. I'm sure the next phase will come around when the babies start walking and it'll be hard again. But for now, things are like smooth sailing. Right.
You made it over the really hard part, right? Back in October, I know that you reproposed to Lauren. I know there was all this confusion if you guys were planning another wedding or just doing a reproposal. So where are we kind of at with that?
No, we're not having another wedding. We had our wedding and then we had another wedding in Vegas for fun. Mm-hmm. So we're not having a third wedding.
Okay.
But I think the reproposal was just the first time around when I proposed to Lauren, it was a very heightened situation, obviously on TV. So we wanted something just for us. And we've vlogged it a little bit, but the proposal was just for us. And I think that was something that we needed. I wanted to get her a new ring. And so, it was just fun to do, but we're not getting married again.
No.
We're together forever.
Right.
Maybe first wedding was pretty awesome. So.
It was pretty awesome. It was pretty beautiful. I know, Arie, you gave everybody a inside look at your vasectomy journey. So any second thoughts post vasectomy?
Any second thoughts?
I mean, no second thoughts. I think that for us, it was something that we had talked about. I know that if we ever want to expand our family, we're open to adoption. Mm-hmm. But I think having all the small babies under 3 years old really pushed us in that direction. And like you guys touched on earlier, I think that for Lauren, getting on a birth control that has like hormones is not great for her. So we wanted to do this instead.
Yeah. I mean, Lauren, how do you feel about it? What was it like being in the room? I know you said it was a little uncomfortable, a little awkward.
Yeah, it was a little strange. I won't go into detail, but I watched the whole thing.
That's okay.
She was trying not to be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had to kind of look because I have a really hard time like controlling my emotions in my face. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm just not going to look. You're doing great. Stop pulling your hair out. It's going to be okay. So yeah.
It was painful.
Yeah, I don't think the pain medication worked for him.
No, we did this like DNA test, and just so happens that I'm like resistant to local antibiotics, which is what they use, lidocaine. So apparently I don't know if it worked on me.
Oh no, so you felt everything.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh man, I didn't feel anything. And I was like, no, I definitely felt everything. I could tell everything that was happening down there. It was not pleasant.
Gross.
Right. Are you guys ever worried that maybe a few years down the line, Lauren, you may want another baby, but you did say that you are open to adoption if that happens, right?
Yes, we're open to adoption, but also Arie just randomly dropped a bombshell on me like the day after he got his vasectomy. And he's like, well, if I ever get it reversed, I'll just be put under anesthesia next time. And I was like, wait a second, you get it reversed.
I mean, they're reversible. I mean, if we have just some heartache over it in 5 years time, but for us, that's kind of the first time we ever really felt like an age gap. I think, I'm 40 years old, she's 30 years old. And it's just I have a little different outlook. I want to be a younger dad. I'm not a younger dad, but I don't want to be an even older dad than I am now.
Yeah.
So 5 years from now, I'll be 45 years old. So I feel like that might be a little bit too late for me to be active with my kids. And so it was just kind of a decision based around that for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily ready to close that chapter yet, just because I know it's hard right now, but once we're out of this phase, I might want another one. Who knows? But we could always adopt. Or he can get it reversed. So.
Exactly. I know we were just talking about weddings before, and I know Chris Harrison is engaged. Arie, are you going to return the favor and officiate that wedding?
No.
Oh, you should. That'd be fun.
I would not. I would be so terrified to mess that up. I love Chris, and if he asked me to do it, I would 100% do it. But I don't think he's asking me to do it because he knows that I'm not that great at speaking in front of people. I'm not great at it, and I'm not going to claim to be good at it. But yeah, if we get the invite, we're gonna definitely go. I'm excited for them, and they're such great people.
Yeah, how's Chris doing? You guys, I know that you guys are very close with them.
Well, so Lauren came here to do a little house tour, and I gave him some slack because he was playing golf in Cabo or something. Yeah. I was like, come on. But yeah, he sent us a couple of gifts for the babies, and he's always been around, and it's awesome to see that he's finding his love and happiness. So we wish him all the best.
Definitely. Are you still in touch with a lot of Bachelor Nation? I know that it feels like everybody in Bachelor Nation's having a baby. Are you guys still very close with a lot of people and have Bachelor play dates at all?
I mean, we talked to some of them.
Yeah.
We almost saw
Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren and Chris were just here last week. We were going to see them, but they're really busy, so it didn't work out. But we talked to a few others too, like people from our season mostly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's just so hard with the babies to get a plan together to go see people. But if anyone comes to Scottsdale, they're more than welcome to come through.
Yeah, doors always open. I don't know if you've been watching it all this season. Obviously you have your hands full, but a lot of people have been giving Clayton a lot of social media hate. Any advice on how to deal with that, and how hard was that for you to kind of deal with that as well? Because all bachelorettes, get their social media hate.
Yeah.
We haven't actually watched this season. We've heard it's a really good season though from our friends. Mm-hmm. So it's entertaining. But yeah, as far as getting hate on social, it's you got to have thick skin if you're going to be the lead of The Bachelor, and also as a contestant. So you just can't let it play into your insecurities, and you have to, sometimes just shut off your phone and not look at it.
Yeah, don't read your comments maybe right now because it's probably crazy.
Yeah.
Just take some time away and let yourself process your emotions away from everyone else's influence.
You can't let the general public, influence the way you feel about the person you're with or your situation, because ultimately you know what's best for yourself. Mm-hmm. And, you can't let the comments get to you.
Yeah. And the people who watch the show don't know everything. They only know what they see on TV.
Yeah.
Totally. Makes sense. And, Clayton did say after week 3 of the show airing that he regretted being The Bachelor. Obviously, everything worked out for you guys. You're married, have babies. But did you ever feel like that too, Arie, when you were kind of watching the show back and being like, oh, man, I maybe regret this decision?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I regretted it, obviously, because we're here today. And it was like, on one side of the coin, it's an incredible experience. Only a few people, 20 Bachelor, 20, I don't know what Bachelor are we on. We're number 22.
27,
I think, yeah.
So it's a small group of guys that understand what it takes and what it is to be The Bachelor. So on one side, it's really difficult to go through it and to watch it back, because a lot of times how it happened is not how it's portrayed, and that leaves some resentment. But on the other hand, you have this amazing opportunity in front of you to find the person that you're meant to be with. So I have to be thankful. When we were watching it back, I was like, man, I feel betrayed in a way by production, but I understand they have a TV show to make and it's all about viewership, so, I get it, and the sooner you kind of wrap your head around that as a lead, the better and the more peace you'll have with it.
No, totally. Makes sense. It definitely makes sense, but it all worked out. You have a beautiful, beautiful family.